What up? What up? What up, party people? It's your boy Rodney Perry. Oh man, emotional game tonight. The Warriors were able to get it done over the Boston Celtics. Shout out to my boys as we all kind of were watching the game as it finished. Uh my boys, my box seats family. I wanted to come on, man. Frank said, dude, what I look like coming on after my team lost. I get it. Frank will not be joining us tonight, although he does have the link. Uh, I want your thoughts though, as an audience, man. You watched the game. Were you able to follow it? And what can the Boston Celtics do going forward? That's the big question for me. The guys played a tremendous season. Uh, Told you they were going to win. Tracy, you called it. Chris Bradley, A. Mir, A. Rock Silly. Always a pleasure. Amir, man, crazy night. Uh, the Celtics, man, play incredible. Uh, I mean, a great season. They just didn't have it. They just didn't have it all. Mike Sean, man, man. I mean, you can't take nothing away from the Celtics. They played their hearts out. Um, what was your thought with Curry getting so emotional, man?
I think Curry respects how much work it takes to get there.
Yeah.
And I think he understands, like he said, when they had them bad seasons, I guess like anything else, even as comedians, like we take for granted when we get them moments in time when you're at those special shows, those special events. And I think Curry just respected the fact that, it's 4 championships and it takes a lot to keep a team together. And I respect them. I respect Steve Kerr. I respect the organization. And you can't take nothing away. I'm not a Golden State fan. I'm not a Boston fan. But God, all you can do is applaud them dudes for what they've done.
Hey, they definitely brought the noise. I know what Frank was saying. Frank was like, dude, I'm not coming on there. My team just lost. But I mean, you got to commend these guys. I said at the top of the series that they have lapses in points where they can't score, and I'm like, just saw James Worthy trolling Cedric Maxwell on Twitter. He posted a picture of himself doing the international sign of choking. Wow. Is this a choke?
You know what? We keep talking about Boston and their turnovers. At some point, we got to give credit to Golden State's defense. At some point, it can't just be about Boston just being reckless with the basketball, and you got to start giving credit to the hands-on defense that these guys are playing. And when they realized that they were getting killed by these guys while they were going to the basket, they made adjustments and they started making help defense an art. So, I don't want to say choke. I don't think Jason Tatum had his greatest game, but I remember Kobe Bryant getting blown out in Game 7 in Boston. And stuff like this happens. Like, it's just the wrong time to not have an excellent game. Like, it was the wrong time.
Amir, is it a choke, or did Coach you just get out coached?
I don't even think they got out coached. I think, to be honest with you, like I said, on the show, let me understand this. Basketball 101 is move without the ball, find open spots, and knock down shots.
Wow.
The entire second half I watched. Now, everybody's going to give Steph Curry the credit for getting the MVP. He's not the MVP of this. It's Wiggins, because Wiggins played the defense on, Fig, you're going to hold your head and say that, but that's the truth. Tatum was not in the game because of the defense that Wiggins played. And here's the other side of it. And Fig, you can, like I said, look sideways. Steph Curry had multiple moments where he could go sit down on the bench and nothing happened and Boston didn't lose any lead or anything.
Right. For long stretches of the game, too.
So
The
he had timely baskets. I'll give him that, and he knocked down some great shots. But if you're really going to be honest about who had the biggest effect on that game, it was Wiggins night in and night out, because his job was to frustrate Tatum, and that's what he did.
Yeah, but
What-
Wiggins didn't have the responsibility of having to score 30 a game.
He didn't, but here's the thing about not having to score 30 a game, Mike. He didn't have to score 30 a game, but not only were the buckets that he scored timely and helped the team, like I said, it allowed Steph Curry to be able to sit on the bench. It wasn't the other way around. Steph
I
Curry,
can't.
who did Steph Curry guard or stop in this entire series?
No, he stripped Tatum, he stripped Green tonight. Like, we can't, like, I understand what you're saying.
Hold on, Mike.
Wiggins was valuable. Wiggins
Mike,
was valuable. If you have to pick one player that you eliminate from this series, would it be Wiggins or Curry?
If you eliminate Wiggins, they don't win the series.
If you eliminate Curry, what do they do?
They just stay in the series.
They probably get swept. They probably get swept. They probably get swept without Curry.
All right, guys, let's hear Fig. What's your thoughts, Fig?
The truth of the matter is that I know people like to point out individuals. The Golden State Warriors never played like that. The Golden State Warriors play team defense. They have an anchor and they have a system. And that's the reason why, before Draymond Green got hurt earlier this year, the Golden State Warriors was the #1 defense in the NBA. Going into this final series, Boston was #1 and Golden State was #2 in defense. Both of these teams play excellent defense. And let me tell you this, all of those shots that those other players was getting is because Steph Curry stretches the floor so far. And when you have to double and triple team him and everybody has to focus on him, he literally makes it easier for other players to get shots either open or be able to go one-on-one.
Hey, let me throw this out there.
MVP. I'll tell you this. Without Steph Curry, they probably don't even make it to the finals.
And let me just say one thing. Amir is absolutely correct on what he's saying. But it's the same reason why Michael Jordan won his first championship against the Lakers when Scottie was the one who had to cover Magic. And they took Jordan off of Magic. Scottie, well, you could make the same argument. That's what Scottie did for Michael and Wiggins did for Steph. But that's what makes you a great team.
Okay.
Now, I'm sorry, Amir. How about this, guys? I mean, we're talking about MVP. One thing that Steph Curry did not have in his resume up to this point. If Wiggins come out tonight and drop 25 again, it's a real argument for him to get MVP. Same defense, same rebounds, but with 25 points tonight, they might have been co-MVPs. What's your thought?
Well, I think this. Like I said, I personally still think that Wiggins was the MVP of the finals, because I think the responsibility he had to frustrate Tatum the way that he did every night, every game, speaks volumes not only to his defensive prowess, but to what he was meant to the team. To something that, Fig mentioned earlier, and to this, just to a statement about this finals. If, as y'all tell me, that Steph Curry is this monumentous, situation to the Golden State Warriors, in the 2 years where they didn't make the playoffs and won, and then got bounced in the playoff game, where was the same ear for the greatness of Steph Curry?
Well, Klay Thompson was hurt.
Can I say something here? Can I say something?
Hold up. Klay Thompson was hurt.
You want to know where they were? Can I just say something here?
Hold on. When I spoke earlier today, I said Klay Thompson is on his way back. And as y'all can see, he still is on his way back. He wasn't a factor. He wasn't somebody that scared anybody or whatever. As Fig just pointed out, this was a team effort. So Klay Thompson contributed a bit. Poole contributed a bit. Wiggins contributed a bit. But my point is, everybody keeps saying that Steph Curry is the catalyst and this and that. Like I said, he had long breaks. He had towels on his head. He had a lot of time to be able to sit on the bench and recoup and come back in refreshed. He didn't have to stay in the game all night and play every position and work through stuff. I'm trying to figure
But
out.
Amir, you're taking credit away from the guy for playing on a great team. That's what
I'm not.
great
No,
team.
I'm not.
Larry
No.
Bird and Magic could sit on the bench when Kareem was in the game, and he could take long breaks because he had Kareem
Okay.
and James Worthy. Larry Bird could take breaks because he had Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish and Dennis Johnson. Michael could take breaks because he had Scotty, Horace Grant, and Dennis Rodman. That's part of having a great team. That's why
Okay.
you win so many championships.
Okay, but to that exact point, Mike, because you know how much Fig hates LeBron James. LeBron
No, I
James
don't.
sits down-
No, I
Hold up.
No, I don't.
When LeBron sits down for 2 seconds, and y'all watched all the finals, you watched all the playoffs. Any team he was on, immediately he had to come back off the bench because they couldn't maintain the lead. Steph Curry did not have to do that at no time this entire playoff. Not one time.
Yo,
Now,
You know
you
what's
keep saying
crazy?
that it's a great team.
know what's
hold on, guys. Let's give Fig the floor. Fig's been trying to get in.
You know, the funny thing about this whole thing is that everybody on the Golden State Warriors team gives Steph Curry the credit because they know how great this dude is. Just
I
the
didn't say
other
it wasn't
game,
great.
Steph Curry dropped 43 points, and he led their team to a win in Boston to go up 2-2. Then
To tie it
in game 5, they doubled and triple team him, and he allowed everybody else to get off. This game here, he was amazing. Everybody was paying attention to him, and every time they had a break, somebody else was cutting to the basket or hitting an open shot. But if you watch the game, everybody was paying attention to Curry.
And what
Okay, guys, let's figure this out. How does Boston lose? They're more athletic, they're longer. I said that the two main guys, if they're going right, they're unstoppable, but they couldn't go left. I mean, was that not the reason, or was it more to it than that? Mike Sean.
Number one, what happened was Draymond Green hit jumpers, and that destroyed a lot of their defensive strategy because when Draymond Green started getting hot, all of a sudden the guy that you were leaving open, you couldn't leave open anymore.
Okay.
Right. Another thing is that guy, Robert Williams.
What about Boston offensively, though?
Offensively, I just think they got rattled. I just think when Golden State puts that pressure on you, and let's remember, Jason Tatum, Jaylen and Brown have never been where Steph Curry and these guys have been. And there's something to be said about experience and knowing when now we got their foot on their neck and we're not going to let them breathe now. They never been here. They don't know what they don't know what we're about to do to them. And I think Boston will be back, honestly, because I think when Robert Williams and Mark Jackson mentioned it, when that kid Robert Williams has a whole year off and plays on a good knee next year, I honestly think it'll be Boston. If we making predictions now, I think it'll be Boston and Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Great thought. Amir, A-Rock Silly, what's your thoughts, man? I mean, in my opinion, Boston just couldn't go left. Not only this game, but the previous game and the game before that. And it seemed like once the Golden State stopped them from going right, it's been kind of over since then. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think there was you have to give Golden State all the credit in the world. I'm not saying, again, they didn't do a fantastic job as a team collectively playing defense. I just thought that the Boston Celtics also, to me, just didn't utilize other things. The one thing that I've said about Golden State, which everybody kind of loses, is yes, they knock down threes, but Steph Curry makes a lot of twos. Klay Thompson makes a lot of twos. You know, the whole team, they make twos as well. Boston just, in game 4 and in game 5, I think almost in game 3, they just camped out at the 3-point line. You're not knocking them down. Step in a couple of feet. The interesting thing about having wide open shots is that means you can step in a couple of feet, get into a rhythm, and then maybe step back out and start continuing to shoot threes. But to just continue to chuck up threes and you know you're not making them is dumb, because only thing that's going to happen is the other team's going to go down, make shots, and then you fall further behind, which puts you in a headspace to where you start even missing simple things like layups. Boston missed a lot of layups in this series, and they missed a lot of free throws. So those aren't things that you could attribute to the defense. That's just mental toughness and being around the basket and finishing like you're supposed to. Steph Curry has some of the most difficult finishes around the basket than any other player in the league when he goes in for layups.
Right.
How is Tatum, who's 3 feet bigger or whatever, missing? You understand what I'm saying? Come on. But like I said, I think that Boston has got to go back to the drawing board because Brown showed up, as usual, and Tatum. We couldn't find Tatum. He was nowhere to be found. And then the last thing I'll say, because I called Frank and I did speak to Frank and I told him this. This is why I hate when players supposedly utilize somebody else's mentality. I don't want to hear Tatum ever say anything about the Mamba mentality ever again because, sir, none of that was the Mamba mentality. Play the Tatum mentality and win your games. That was for Kobe. That's how he played the game. Leave it there. Y'all got to stop doing that. Y'all got to start being the best and the first of yourselves. Stop trying to be somebody else because that's not what the game is about. The game is about you being the best version of you. So I'll just say that, and I'll let it go from there.
You know what the funny thing is?
Great. Hold on, Fig. I'm about to throw it to you. But I got to be honest, guys. I don't know how I feel about this late night Amir A-Rock Silly.
Yeah, he's a little aggressive. He's a little aggressive late night.
Amir A-Rock Silly, I think he slapped somebody tonight.
No, what I was going to say is that Curry has been used to, over the last 8 years when he was healthy, he's been used to being double and triple team. This is Tatum's first taste of getting that kind of treatment. And if you don't know how to adjust, that's what happens. Golden State wins.
Does Tatum need to get bigger? Does Tatum need to put some muscle on?
He will.
He just needs to know how to pick his spots. When you double and triple team, you get your other teammates involved. And that's what he wasn't doing. He kept trying to go 1-on-2, 1-on-3, which contributed to his turnovers.
Yes.
The reason that the Warriors win is because of their system. They play team basketball, cutting to the basket, constant movement, passing the ball, trusting your teammates. Who would have thought that you'd give the green light to a 22-year-old Looney, that you would trust Kevon Looney, Poole, I'm sorry, a 22-year-old Jordan Poole
to do shit.
And a Kevon Looney, and then a player that's bounced around the entire league in a Gary Payton III. You trust these guys because you plug them into a system and they play a certain way, which allows everybody to shine. Curry don't get upset when other players are scoring because that helps them win. When you paying attention to Curry, when you see last game and they was paying attention to him, I think he had 16 points, but everybody else got off because they was triple teaming him. That's how you win. If Tatum would have had that mentality, the game probably would have been a little more competitive.
I just want to say this before we jump on Tatum. I watched Magic Johnson dribble the clock out in the NBA Finals game. I watched Kobe Bryant get blown out in Boston and have a miserable Game 7. The Game 7 that Kobe won against the Celtics, he had a miserable game. So before we jump on him and get, because I know that's going to be the headline story that Tatum choked. This has happened to the greatest players ever.
True.
It just happens when it happens at these times. We jump on these players and we go crazy on he choked, he's this, he's soft, he can't do this, he can't do that. It's his first time in the finals. I believe he's going to be in the finals again. I believe he'll have redemption. Just wasn't his year. He's up against a dynasty. This is officially a dynasty. That's what this is.
I agree. I don't think Tatum choked at all. I think this is just growing. It's not about choking.
It's growing pain. It's growing pain.
This is growing pains. He was trying, But
I think he was, and I think you make a valid point, Fig, and that's what I'm saying. If supposedly his other team members are supposedly watching film and doing specific things, I just don't understand, because a lot of the turnovers, if you watch the game, they were doing turnovers that you just even wouldn't do if you played in the park. Nobody throws a cross court pass. You at the top of the key, or at the 3-point line, and you trying to throw it all the way to the corner to the big. Nobody does that, because you know that could easily get picked off. There's somebody on the block who's always got hands up or is fast or whatever. So you just don't do those kinds of things. So to your point, you're absolutely right. This is going to be growing pains for him. But I just don't understand how, as I watched that game, guys just didn't move in spaces where they made shorter passes. When you looked at the handoffs that Golden State was doing, all of those guys were coming to the ball. What are y'all standing around waiting for the ball to come to you? You got to come to the ball. And then the last thing that I'll say is, when you look at Golden State and, again, how they played the game, like you said, Fig, you're absolutely right. They played the game as a team and, as a collective. So you got to give them, nothing but props and credit for that. But you just wonder what Boston was doing, because you're like, guys, y'all played the game the same way for most of the season. And then you just gave up on that same concept in the final. So I didn't understand that at all.
Hey, y'all, the name of the show is Box Seats. We rock this every day between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we decided to pop on here post-playoffs, man. The Golden State Warriors win a hard-fought battle, Game 6, Golden State in 6. A lot of people saw it going 7. If it goes 7, gentlemen, does Boston get the win? Amir.
I think if it had gone 7, I think Golden State was going to win it, because I think that it was going to be at home. And that's something else that bothered me about this game. Boston, you home. I don't understand how y'all played that badly at home. It's one thing if, they had played that badly in Golden State or something like that. You guys are home. I saw them missing shots that were hitting the front of the rim. Last I checked, from every NBA player I've ever spoken to, and my brother included, home cooking, the dead spots in the gym, all the stuff you're supposed to know. What the heck was Boston doing? I'm like, guys, what was that? But you're right. First time in those headlights, and that could be, a lot for anybody. And then just one last thing I'll add to Fig's point. You got to remember though, Fig, and you said this early on, in the shows. Poole, Wiggins, Kuminga, and all of those guys. Looney, all season, those guys got a chance to prepare for this moment, because all season they got a chance to play. Remember, Klay didn't come back till halfway through the season. Yeah. So those guys had an opportunity to get, their games together, and at least, understand what the importance of, what they brought to the table early on. So I think that played a pivotal part as well.
Hey,
you know
Mike,
what? I give.
Hold on, Fig. Hold on, see, Mike Sean. Could New Edition have won this game?
I know, because Bobby Brown would have been the weak link on defense, and there would have been no way. Johnny Gill can't make up for everything. Like Johnny Gill can't make up for everything. I think the pick and roll would have killed Bobby. It would have killed Bobby.
I mean, you know what? I mean, Fig. I mean, you got it to go. Ready to vote would have been the anchor. Lots of rebounds. I mean, what are you thinking?
I think so, but Ralph Tresvant is a little light in the pants. He probably would have got pushed around quite a bit.
Wow.
He's sensitive.
He definitely is a man with sensitivity.
Johnny might have did good, Rodney. Now Johnny
might have did well. Let me ask you this, Fig. I mean, Steph Curry. We saw Steph Curry. We saw Steph Curry get really emotional, and look at Frank. We saw Steph Curry get really emotional. Out of the members of New Edition, who would have got the most emotional?
Got to be Ralph. He says you need a man with sensitivity.
He can't stand the rain.
Yes,
that is a fact, Mike Sean. Well said. Mike Sean. I mean, we joking, man, and it's Father's Day coming up Sunday, man. We're all fathers, man. To see Steph Curry and Dale Curry embrace and have that moment, what was that like for you?
It was just amazing. I just respect Steph for respecting his dad's side chick being in the building.
Yeah.
Mike Sean for the win.
I
Yo,
mess it up this time, Mike.
what? Hey, wasn't it C Dog who said it early? He said, "Yo, you gotta get this series over because Steph Curry's going through too much stuff with his mother and father showing up."
Dog.
Yeah, that was classic. Oh, that was good stuff.
Mama Curry was there too. Now, Mama Curry was
Yeah, hey, you know, look, it's all good. You know what's so crazy, Rodney? You're absolutely right, though. Even when they showed the thing where they showed the players who are there now, who had fathers who had previously played in the NBA, I thought that was dope too.
Yeah.
I was like, that was really, really cool. So, kudos to all the fathers, and especially to you gentlemen. So that's a dope thing for real.
This whole thing was amazing, and Boston was on an amazing ride. They got a lot of pieces that came together as a team, but I think experience and the bright lights on this stage, they have the ability to rattle you on your first go round. And
yeah,
like we said before, this is Golden State, 6th time here. They've been here 6 times. So
Steph Curry said something really important tonight. He said, and we've heard this on our show. He said something to the effect that there's no guarantees you're gonna get back here.
Exactly.
And do you see the Celtics getting back, Mike Sean?
I don't know if the Celtics are going to get back. I do think the Celtics will get back, but one thing I will guarantee is that every father in these squares will be mistreated Sunday on Father's Day.
That is a fact.
So it will not be appreciated on Father's Day. Just understand that and just appreciate yourself. Hug yourself and understand what you do for your family and how you hold things down. So whatever you get, just take it and just understand you always got box seats on Monday to come back to at 1 o'clock, where men are appreciated for what they do in this goddamn world.
Well said. You know what, gentlemen? That we will close on that. We will get out of here on that. Happy Father's Day. This marks the beginning of a slow ass sports season.
Rodney, that's the one thing I was gonna say. I was like, now it's downhill from here. I'm not a hockey fan. I'm not a baseball fan.
Hockey almost over.
No, hockey will be in playoffs till December.
Even though
finals is now. Hockey been playing the finals recently.
I'm telling you, hockey will be still in playoffs in December.
But nobody cares.
Get ready on Monday for box seats because Frank will be asking us about some Dominican that plays for the Mariners and asking us what we think about his defensive presence in the outfield.
We gonna have Frank gonna have a moment of silence for Brittany Griner for 30 minutes.
Yo.
Shout
out to our illustrious leader, Frank Holder, man.
Yes.
He is a Boston Celtics fan. He is at home being consoled by his wife right now. And I know it's a blessing to be in the Holder house tonight. And
he'll be sleeping in front of his Antoine Walker poster.
Where you gonna sleep at?
In front of his Antoine Walker poster.
I think it's Larry Bird. But
not Bird.
Yo, all jokes aside, man. Great chat, guys, man. This is a sad day in Boston, but for some reason I don't care. Like, I'm happy that not the black Boston fans, but I'm happy that the white Boston fans are sad right now.
Yes.
Am I racist?
Yes,
no,
yes, yes,
no,
yes.
No,
no.
I
yes.
think you're right, Mike Sean. You're right.
No.
We
You're
are.
right.
But I
Hey,
support you. I
Listen,
support you.
hey Rodney, there gonna be a lot of cars vandalized in Boston tonight. That's
All right. Before we go, Frank, hit the link. Come in and say hi to the people before we get out of here.
They not coming. Frank ain't coming
Frank, please.
Come on,
Frank.
Frank. Show us that Cedric Maxwell poster that you got somewhere.
Frank, you don't have to take this. You know what? Frank did. I mean, my buddy Hank Denson just popped in. Frank. I mean, Hank is from Massachusetts as well. He said, "Leave Frank alone." I'm just wanting to make sure I give Frank an opportunity to say, I mean, a farewell, a great season, man,
It
for
was.
you guys, and
No, it was.
it won you $20, and I'm not happy about that still.
Shout out to Frank and all the mediocre Boston Celtic players, D. Brown.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show.
God bless ML Call.
Whoa, hold on. This is a family show, man.
The principal, wait a minute. The principal. Wait. You think I'm angry at night? Look at the principal over there.
The principal came in with a finger. Hold on, Frank, man. Real quick before we go, man. And want us to give you some time to go grab a hat?
Nah, I'm good. I don't care.
It was a good season.
It was a great season, Frank. You guys stood up and played a great season. What did you see, bro?
I saw they need a point guard real bad. That's what I saw.
That's true.
You don't like Smart though. Smart did a great job.
Smart is not a point. Smart's not a point
It
guard.
wasn't him though. It was the guys. Brown played a great game. It's Tatum.
I didn't say it wasn't. I just said they need a point guard real bad because Tatum and Jaylen Brown forced the issue too much by isolating versus trying to get a point guard who'll bring it up and pass you the ball in the spot that you need the spot. Like how the Lakers used to do, how the old Celtics used to do. You bring how any team used to do. You get a point guard, bring up the ball. Point guard. First of all, the point guard will stop on all the. I cut off the TV when the Celtics turned the ball over 21 times, and it was like literally beginning of the fourth quarter. I cut off the TV, so I don't even know how many turnovers they got now. But 21 turnovers. I ain't nah. They need a point guard.
It's like the guys that were calling the game put those stats out there, and it almost wills those things to happen to me.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that, but at the end of the day, I got to give Golden State the shout outs for experience because the way they were playing, like me and Mir were talking at halftime, those boys were playing with experience. They were cutting to the basket. They were doing everything they're supposed to do, man. Like, you know what I mean? And the Celtics were, I think I got more. I almost threw my damn phone, and I had my wife like, "You need to calm down." When Jaylen Brown ran down and he tripped over everybody who was forcing it down the middle, I'm like, dude.
When your wife said calm down, did you say something back or did you just take it?
I took it.
Just like the Celtics.
Yeah. No, except the Celtics bent over. That's all.
No.
Before I'm about to get out of here, before I go, somebody tell Mark Jackson, no matter how many times he compliments Steph Curry, he's never going to be the Golden State coach ever again.
Yeah,
Wow. That is very true. Very true.
Stop.
But you know what?
No, we know.
They love that, and that's what I'm saying. Like I get it. Steph is, again, he's incredible, and he most certainly changed the game. There's no two ways about that. But some of the compliments, I'm looking like, really, guys? Like even when he was doing stuff that they could clearly see was wrong because there was a foul that he made, and they were like, that wasn't a foul. Then the same play came down, and it happened to Steph, and they was like, see? And I was like,
yo,
really, guys?
Here's a question for all of y'all. Here's a question I'm gonna ask you all tomorrow during Box Seat. Hold on, let me ask you the question. Here's my question. Do you think the network was happier with this Golden State Warriors winning, or do you think the network would have been happy with the Celtics winning? Because the way it was turning out to me, I was like, I think ESPN is gonna literally enjoy themselves tomorrow with all this Golden State, fun. You know what I mean? And Steph Curry, because Andrew Wiggins should have been an MVP. Period.
I mean, I know Amir said that. I don't agree with that, but I mean, to each his own.
Yeah.
You want me to name the plays? I can name the plays.
Name the plays, Frank.
Andrew Wiggins cuts in. The Celtics are literally trying to make a storm of the comeback. Andrew Wiggins
Tonight?
Tonight. I'm talking about just tonight. Andrew Wiggins storms, cuts down.
How many points did he have?
Like I said, I don't know. I cut the TV off.
I don't think he had enough points tonight to be considered.
If we're gonna do this Wiggins thing on how great he played, can we name the days that he got lit the fuck up? Can we name those games when Wiggins got lit up?
He didn't get lit up in the finals. He didn't get lit
Yeah,
up in
he
the finals.
did. Yeah, he
He
did.
did get lit up.
Yeah, he did.
Wiggins was
Like-
Wiggins was the winner for game 2 for them. Wiggins got more rebounds in the last game that they scored more than anybody else. Steph Curry played back. Listen, Wiggins was. I don't care what nobody
Where was
says.
Wiggins? So if we're gonna give Wiggins credit for his defense, can we give him credit for they blew big leads? Because Wiggins was playing defense when they blew those big ass leads.
Yeah, and so wasn't Steph. So I'm just saying, if you have to give
Wait,
Wiggins
wait.
or Steph, so
But Steph after the
Are
game,
y'all serious though? If you're gonna pick an MVP, you're gonna
average
take
30
Andrew
points a
Wiggins over
game?
Steph Curry?
here's the thing that you have to make sure you understand. They gave Steph Curry because he hit some dagger threes and it was
No,
shining. But the game.
had-
Let me finish. But the game was already over when he hit those threes. Wiggins helped him when the Celtics. Every time the Celtics were storming back right now to get in the game, Wiggins killed all their momentum 3 times by himself.
That's great. That's great. But the only reason
He played.
reason they're
If
in
we
the
were playing
game,
a solo game, then that would be fair, but we're not.
the only reason they're in the game is because they're 30 points a game, y'all. Like, are we bugging right now?
Okay.
All right, guys, we can beat this to death. Let's get out of here.
Can I say something?
Box Seats tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Human Meal Network. You don't want to miss this, man. We argue like this all the time. Frank, come here. Come here.
I know you enjoyed this, but you was wrong the first 3 times. Now you finally wrong in the finals. You enjoy that.
Hey,
Enjoy that.
let me tell you something. A broke clock is wrong twice a day.
Hey, Rodney. Hey, Rodney. You know what's funny? I think this is the first time we was on Box Seats, and Frank ain't got on the hat.
I gave him a chance to go get it. He said, "Fuck that hat."
No, if anything, one more point. Steph Curry deserves the MVP for the one they robbed from him when they gave it to Andre Iguodala. He at least deserves this one.
Hey,
Okay.
I thought they was going. To be honest, and keeping with what Amir and Frank said, I thought they was gonna take it because Wiggins was playing great. If he'd have had 10 more points, they'd have gave it to him.
How many
Yeah,
points
I
did
don't
he
know.
have? How many points did he have?
So he has 17.
Oh, okay. I don't
No,
even
We
know.
had
the
27. All right, gentlemen.
All right, y'all.
See you next time.
Peace.